When one door opens, you better take that step outside. Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of Wisconsin's Outdoor Explorer podcast. I am your host, Jason. I hope your new year is off to a great start. I hope you are keeping your resolution. If you're not, there's always next year. And I hope you're getting outdoors this winter. Now, today I'm going to talk about something that has opened my eyes and opened me back up to the outdoors here in Wisconsin. I'd like to say snowshoeing has been a door opener for me. And what I mean by that is it's given me an easy excuse to open the door and get outdoors. I don't own a snowmobile or any type of skis. I don't cross-country ski. I don't downhill ski. So finding things to do in the winter that I enjoy sometimes has been a challenge. I'm not one to fish. I have gone ice fishing once, and fishing is just not my thing. I'd rather be out and moving and doing things. So the winter activities for me were kind of small and short, the list was. So there wasn't a lot that I was looking forward to in the winter time. And that has always been kind of a challenge for me for winter, is what can I do to get outside and enjoy it? And it's been tough. It's been tough to find that thing because, to go snowmobiling, that's a big investment. With skiing as well, it's an investment in equipment. It's an investment in lift tickets. And if you've never done downhill skiing, like I've never done downhill skiing, you need lessons and it takes a lot of time. And sometimes it's hard to find that time to go do that. That has always been my biggest challenge when it comes to winter. Now, there are activities and events that I have been to that I really enjoy, and I'm sure you have too. But I think sometimes it's hard to find a positive about winter and something that can get you out, that gets you excited. Now, one of the things that I really enjoy is going for walks. I enjoy taking my dog for a walk. I enjoy just walking a trail or hiking a trail. I just enjoy that kind of quiet, that peace, that connection with the outdoors. But working all day and living in rural Wisconsin makes going for a walk in the evenings a little bit unsafe in sometimes. Now, I've worn reflective vests and I've got headlamps and I have done walks in the evening, but there's just always this uneasiness about going out and walking, the side roads in Wisconsin at night. I mean, they can get busy, they can get dark, really dark. Even with a headlamp, they are still dark, and they give you kind of an unsafe feeling after a while. And sometimes it's just not an option to go out when it's that dark out. And it's kind of the same with going in the morning. Now, I leave for work early in the morning as well, so most of the time it is dark when I leave, or the sun is just coming up. So going for a morning walk is also difficult with the sun not being up, and it's sometimes a little colder in the morning, so it doesn't make it as enjoyable either. So finding a time to get out during the winter and enjoy a good walk or a good hike has always been a challenge for me. And then we get to the weekends. Now, I usually do get a walk in on a weekend. I'll wait till the sun comes up, or I'll wait till in the afternoon if it warms up a little bit, and I'll take the dog for a walk. And we enjoy that. It's just a nice time to get out and get some fresh air, get a little exercise. But it didn't satisfy my appetite to want to explore and hike like I do every other season in Wisconsin. We've got the early spring season where the flowers are out, and summer is always a great time to go hiking. And fall, of course, that's the best time to get out in Wisconsin. So winter is always just kind of left a little void where I've wanted to go hiking and go do something outside. That's when snowshoeing entered my life. Now, as most of you listeners have known, I tried snowshoeing for the first time last year, and it's something that my wife and I kind of fell in love with right away. It's something that we enjoyed doing, and we knew we would enjoy doing it in our future. And honestly, snowshoeing has opened the door and allowed me to get outdoors whenever I want. And part of that is getting out and going for a walk after work. Now, I'm pretty fortunate. My home is surrounded by cropland. So I have a lot of wide open fields that are just covered in snow. There's no snowmobile trails that go through them. There's no livestock on them, so there's no fences. It's all open, and this works great for safely getting out after a long day in the office. I can get home from work, I can throw on my snowshoes, and I can go for a walk around the perimeter of my property or perimeter of a field for a good 30 to 45 minute snowshoe walk without the worry of cars, trucks, and large tractors not seeing me. I can still wear a vest and my headlamp. I have a more secure feeling when I go for my little walks after work with snowshoes on. It's actually allowed my wife and I to wind down a little bit at the end of the day by going for a walk together as we walk and talk about our day. It's been a really good thing to invest in on our part, to have these snowshoes available to us now so we can just walk around wherever we want to in the fields and in our property. Now, the one thing I will say is that I do own almost 20 acres, so it does give us a lot of property to walk around. So I'm not walking on somebody else's property. I'm being very respectful of other people's land in our area. So take that into consideration if you try to do this. What I found out with snowshoes is that for us, it's more than just going for an evening snowshoe walk after work. It's opened up a whole bunch of activities for us to enjoy together. Now, recently, for example, we just went on a candlelight snowshoe walk on the Riverbend Trail in Merrill. And it's a trail that is a really nice trail. It goes along the edge of the Wisconsin River. And this event actually made for a really nice date night for my wife and myself. We decided that we wanted to go try it. It was a beautiful evening, and there was a whole event wrapped around it. They had wine tasting, some hot chocolate. They had a small fire you could enjoy before and after the trail. But the best part about the whole thing was being able to walk along this candlelight trail with nothing more than our snowshoes and our conversation. It was a really nice night, and it's something that having snowshoes has opened us up to being able to do, to find events like this where in the past we wouldn't have been able to do this. We just wouldn't have even considered it. There was a paved walkway along the Riverbend Trail, so we could have taken that, but it really would have lost kind of the whole magic of the event and the whole purpose, really, of the event. The one thing I did discover with this event is that there are a lot of small trails like this throughout the state that don't typically get as much promotions as some of the larger parks and trails. And this Riverbend Trail is one of those trails. It's a small local trail. It's got a lot of potential, and the excitement from the organization around this trail was evident. There people were very excited about what can happen. And in fact, it opened my eyes to kind of all these little trails that are located around Wisconsin, that maybe they do run through a little city or a small city park or through a larger park, but just don't get that recognition or acknowledgement that, like I said, some of the bigger state parks get, some of the bigger county parks get. And what was nice about it is you're not going to get a lot of heavy traffic on it. So it wasn't like it was packed. Like, I know the state parks do some candlelight walks that are coming up as well, and those events can tend to get a little crowded, where this one was the right amount of people, and a lot of that has to do with the size. But one of my goals on this podcast and on this journey is to bring some attention and awareness to some of these areas. So I'm working on doing a podcast with the organizers of the Riverbend Trail so that I can learn more and you can learn more about them and how they are growing in the future. But the point of that is, without strapping on some snowshoes, I would have never likely discovered this trail. And to me, that's what makes snowshoeing so special. It has opened the doors to doing so much more in the winter without little or no cost involved. And I've noticed, and you probably have noticed this too, that in recent years, more and more people are snowshoeing. It's not that hard on the body, and if you can walk, you can pretty much snowshoe. It's not too difficult, and I think some misconceptions of snowshoes are the pictures of the old, wooden snowshoes that are wide and hard to walk with. Well, with today's snowshoe technology, they're lightweight. You don't even know you really got them on, and they work great. They fit your current boots perfectly, so you don't have to go out and buy extra boots. I've also noticed that not only more people are snowshoeing, but there's more events for snowshoeing, and more candlelight walks occur each year. And more groups are gathering together on weekends for snowshoe discovery walks. And of course, snowshoeing is a great way to visit our vast array of state parks. And one of the other great things about snowshoes is, like I said, you can go anywhere. If there's snow and you've got a set of snowshoes, you can venture into it. Now, obviously, you want to make sure that if you're doing like what I'm doing, walking around in my backyard, and maybe walking around into some local area woods around me, that you have permission to walk in those areas. Some of those people put up trail cameras for deer and other wildlife, and they really don't need you walking by their trail cameras and, posing for them. So make sure that if you do have a local woods by you, that you ask permission to go into those areas. And most of the time, you're not hurting anything with your snowshoes, and most people are going to let you do that anyway, as long as you're polite and you're not overstaying your welcome. Once you strap on them snowshoes, the opportunities really are endless. I know we've got some places we'd like to go yet this year that the snowshoeing is what's really going to make those places special. And I'm really looking forward to doing that. And what snowshoeing has done for me, it's opened up winter to me in so many different ways now. And I enjoy seeing the snow fall, and I enjoy seeing the snow pile up, because it just means that I get to blaze new trails and experience the best parts of winter that Wisconsin really has to offer. There's nothing better than walking through a woods after a nice heavy snowfall. The trees are just heavy with snow, and that's something that you can experience with a pair of snowshoes. And it's just something that only Wisconsin really can offer, in my opinion. Now, I realize snowshoeing isn't for everyone, and I realize I talk about it a lot, but like I said, it has given me an opportunity to get out more than what I have in the past. And if you've been looking for something to get you out the door and get you excited about winter, snowshoeing may be for you. I mean, they're relatively inexpensive. You can buy used ones on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist if you look around a little bit. Or you can buy a relatively new set through Amazon or through a local dealer that are relatively inexpensive. I mean, you're not going to break the bank on buying a good set of snowshoes. And that would be my advice, is to start with an inexpensive pair and see how you like them. That's exactly what my wife and I have done. We bought an inexpensive pair of snowshoes and tried them out. We got some nice walking poles, which I didn't know if that was going to help or not, but it's really a nice addition to your snowshoes, is to get a good set of walking poles with them. You can always upgrade in the future, or if you like the set and you want to upgrade, there's opportunities there for you to upgrade. But if you're not ready to purchase, there are places throughout the state that do rent snowshoes. And the other part of that is most of those places have trails that you can rent right there and get on the trails and walk for a day. So that's another way for you to try snowshoeing if you've never tried it. But again, it's gotten me excited about getting outdoors. It's gotten me excited about visiting some places that in the past pretty much seemed closed or unavailable to me. And if you've been looking for a reason or an activity that will open your door and get you excited about winter in Wisconsin, then strap on a set of snowshoes and be one of Wisconsin's outdoor explorers. One of the reasons why I started the Facebook group was for reasons like this. If you've got a favorite place that you like to snowshoe or you like to hike, get on the Facebook group. Let's start a conversation about that. Let's talk about those places, and let's share that knowledge of Wisconsin with everybody else. Just log on to Facebook and search Wisconsin's Outdoor Explorer group. Join the conversation, and let's all become one of Wisconsin's outdoor explorers. Thanks again for joining me. I'm your host, Jason, and I'll talk to you again next week. Thanks for listening to the Wisconsin's Outdoor Explorer podcast. For more great information about being an outdoor explorer, visit our website at wisconsinsoutdoorexplorer.com. Be sure to check out the blog page and follow us on social media. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.